Hi everyone, it's me Gaming Do, and today, two sets of tier lists in 1 month. Yes guys, because we have had such an absence from tier lists lately, I figured, why not just do two sets in 1 month? It doesn't hurt anybody or anything, right? So, yeah, I figured because it's been such a long time since before the last set, we were going to do two sets in 1 month. And for video A, I was actually planning on doing this on July 1st, when I did the first set, because it was a specific day to celebrate this country, and that country is Canada. Yes, guys, today we're going to be doing a tier list on the Canadian provinces. And you guys may be wondering, what makes you, know so much about the Canadian provinces? Well, fun fact, by blood I'm half American and half Canadian. So yes, I do know a lot about the Canadian provinces. My mom was born in America, and so was I, but my dad was born in Canada. So, with that, I have a fair amount of knowledge on the provinces. Not quite as much as American states, but I know my stuff. So, yeah, why don't we get started with this now? This is sort of a sequel to my American states tier list. Let's do Canadian provinces. And what a province to start. Newfoundland and Labrador. Some of the most beautiful scenery in the entire world. There's so many places you can go. You can go to Grossmorn Park, PEI Park, which is not quite as scenic as something like Grossmorn, but, you know, it's still really nice. You got Rocky Harbor, you got, oh my god, you got Lark Harbor, all these different harbors and the clear water and the big cliffs you get to see. It's almost like, dare I say it, a better version of Ireland. It's gorgeous. Plus, this is the province where my dad is from, so maybe I have a bit of a bias. There's many towns and cities like St. John's, Gander, Corner Brooks, Stephenville, what else? Deer Lake. There's so many great places to go with. Sprout Rural is surprisingly good amount of amenities too. They have a decent sized mall with good restaurants. You get like at least 3 or 4 Tims per town, which is cool. And yeah, with all the beautiful scenery and nice people and stuff like that, I can't give Newfoundland any lower than an S. Gosh, what is this? I think this is Northwest Territories. Please don't come after me if I'm wrong. I'm going to put all 3 territories in the C tier. Actually, I will put Yukon in B, because I think Yukon has a little more to it than Northwest and Nunavut. Yukon has Whitehorse, which is not huge, but it's a nice little small town in the biggest place in the territory. The mountains there are beautiful, especially Mount Logan. I don't know too much about the other 2 territories. I know Yellowknife is in Northwest, but Nunavut, the only thing I know is they have a cool Inuit language, which is pretty cool, and their flag is really cool. I'm sorry, I don't know too much about Nunavut besides that. And we got the big boy here, Ontario. I'm going to put it in A. Ontario is where, like, more than half of Canadians live. It's, like, very populated, especially the Greater Toronto area, which has the second biggest concentration of my family in Canada. They live, or in Ontario in general. Some of them live by Windsor and not the greater Toronto area, but this is where you got Toronto. Excuse me if I pronounce this wrong. Mississauga, you got Hamilton, you got Windsor, Thunder Bay. There's a lot of neat places to go. There's Kingston, which is where Ricky Berwick, I don't know if he's from there, but I know he resides there, I believe. But anyways, this is basically the New York equivalent of Canada. This is the biggest province with all the biggest stuff and stuff like that. Technically California, because California is the most populated state, but I think New York is the biggest big-timey state in the United States. But Ontario is really freaking cool. There's so much to do in this province. My two complaints. One, traffic in the Toronto area is ridiculous. And second, by God, is it ever expensive? Especially the housing costs. So those are my only two knocks on Ontario. Other than that, I think they're pretty cool. I'm going to give Quebec the same rating. Now, please don't think I mean anything bad by this. The reason I am only giving it an A instead of an F is plain and simply, I don't know much French. I'm trying to learn a bit of French because of my interest in the French culture and stuff like that, but I really don't know a lot of French, so I won't really be able to get myself around. I mean, I've been to Montreal Airport probably at least a half a dozen times in my life, so I can truly say the people there know enough English to get you by, so it's not really that big of a problem, but I imagine living there, it would be quite different, where it's gonna be hard to understand everyone. My biggest positive with Quebec is that it rivals some of America's best states in its history. Holy freaking crap. Old-time Quebec City is a freaking beautiful city that's like a European city. It's freaking awesome. I'd love to visit there. Montreal is cool. I've only ever been to the airport, but I've been in Montreal before. It's a cool little city. I almost stayed the night in a hotel there, which before that, I just thought it was a typical North American city, but it's got a fair amount of history to it too. So now that I think about it, I was like, I wish I would have stayed in that hotel because I probably would have passed by some neat stuff. But Quebec is truly an awesome province. It's just the language barrier is what's keeping me from giving it an S. This is Nova Scotia. Give it an A also. You know, Nova Scotia is cool to me. I think the only knock I got on it is... Actually, I don't think I got any, so I'm also going to put it on S. This is probably where I'm going to put a lot of the Atlantic provinces. There's not a lot to knock on Nova Scotia. I prefer Newfoundland, but it's still a really cool place. It doesn't quite have the big cliffs that Newfoundland has. It might have a few, but not as many. I don't have a heck of a lot to say. I've been to the Halifax airport before, which was really quick and easy airport to get through. Halifax is a cool city from what I've seen of it, and I don't have too much more to say about Nova Scotia. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Alright, Excuse me for 1 second. Which one of these is PEI and New Brunswick? Excuse me, I gotta go on the internet for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, dark yellow is New Brunswick, the white one's Prince Edward Island. Got it. Okay. Um. Hmm. I think I'm gonna put New Brunswick in S also because it's a lot like Maine, and Maine is one of my favorite states in the country. So, if it's a lot like Maine, then good God, am I gonna love it. It's gotta be beautiful. I don't know too much about New Brunswick, but it's basically the Canadian version of Maine. I'll take that. Prince Edward Island is beautiful. I know that's where Anne of Green Gables takes place because that's one of my mom's all-time favorite shows, and it's a place in Canada I'd love to visit one day. It's truly looks amazing, beautiful. Like the beautiful little villages there are so freaking cool. The history is up there with Quebec as some of the best history in the country. Truly just mesmerizing. Alright, we're getting on to some of the provinces. There's a couple here that I'm going to put high to, but a couple here that are probably going to be the lowest. I'm going to put Manitoba. Kind of hard to say if I want to put it in B or C. I'm going to put it in B. You know, I have my opinion on this basically the same as the American Midwest. I mean, you go up to northern Manitoba, it's a lot prettier than the southern part, but a lot of what you see in Manitoba is in that southern part, and it's fine. Winnipeg is like probably the Detroit of Canada, as it has one of the highest crime rates in the country. It's still nothing compared to Detroit, but there are some areas in that city there are some areas in Winnipeg I would not want to go to. Let's just put it like that. And, the downtown part of Winnipeg is pretty cool. I like the Jets logo. I think it is prettier than like North Dakota and stuff like that, but definitely one of my lower provinces. British Columbia, however, I have very similar opinions on it as I do Ontario. Except I am actually going to put it above Ontario. It is beautiful. Oh my god, is it beautiful. The huge mountains you see up there is freaking mesmerizing. You get both the Rockies and the Cascades there, which is... I don't think any state has... Does Idaho have both the Cascades and the Rockies? If so, let me know. But I believe British Columbia has both the Rockies and the Cascades, which is awesome. Vancouver's a cool city, albeit very expensive. Expensive. No, expensive. Which, again, is why I'm only putting it in A, because $1 million for a house, that's probably not going to be the best thing in the world. Doesn't sound like my cup of tea. So, we're going to put beautiful British Columbia in A, but it is expensive. Saskatchewan, Sass, as some people call it. I'm out of all the provinces, non-territories, it's probably my least favorite. My both of my grandfathers on both sides of my family are hunters, and the white-tailed deer they got up in Saskatchewan is pretty much outmatched. My grandfather that lives here in New Jersey said he wants to go up to Saskatchewan one day to go hunting after them, but I don't know much about Saskatoon or Regina or anything. I mean, they're probably not bad places to live. I heard they have similar crime rates to Winnipeg, though, but I honestly don't know a heck of a lot about Saskatchewan. I think that's where Brock Lesnar is from, but I honestly don't have too much to say. Alright, the last province, Alberta. I don't have too much bad to say about Alberta. This for me is the prime of the Canadian Rockies, where both Banff and Jasper are, which is freaking mesmerizing. Calgary and Edmonton are really cool cities, along with the smaller city of Red Deer is pretty cool. But good God. The area near Banff and Jasper is, I pretty much tie it with where? What the hell am I trying to say? I almost had no brain farts in this entire video, and now I'm all of a sudden having one. The Yellowstone area of America, it's pretty much tied with that as the most beautiful place in North America, and Newfoundland too. Newfoundland, the Rockies of Alberta, and the Yellowstone area are the three most beautiful places in North America. But I don't know if Alberta might, I don't know. I can't really pick between those three on which is the most beautiful. But one thing's for certain, Alberta is a truly beautiful province. Alright, is this where I'm going to rank them all? I think I'm going to put Yukon behind these two. I'd say that's good from this point. No, I think I'd put Alberta above Nova Scotia. Alright, then here's the ranking of the provinces and territories. Number 13 is Nunavut. Nunavut. Number 12 is Northwest Territories. Yellowknife. Basically all I gotta say. Number 11 is Yukon Territory. Beautiful mountains, but ain't too much besides that. Whitehorse is the only relatively big area in the territory, but not much besides that. Number 10, Saskatchewan. They have nice deer up there, but not too much more appealing other than that. 9, Manitoba. Winnipeg is pretty cool city, even though it's like kind of have some pretty bad areas, but other than that, I think it's pretty cool. We're on number 8 now, I believe, right? Yes, number 8, Quebec. It's just a language barrier for me. Other than that, I think it's really cool with the really old architecture and stuff like that that looks like a European city. Somewhere I definitely want to go. Number 7 is going to be Ontario. Ontario is really freaking cool. Especially the fact that it's basically the New York of Canada. It's got all the biggest cities and stuff like that. And it's honestly really beautiful out by the Great Lakes, too. So, Ontario is really cool. Number 6 is British Columbia. It's expensive, but for what you get, it's really worth it. Top 5 starts with, good God, okay. No, this is Prince Edward Island. Number 5, no, I'm going to put New Brunswick at number 5. It's basically like Maine. I will only put it at number 5 because I live in the United States and I could just go to Maine to see very similar stuff. But you know what? It's still a lot like Maine, and I cannot complain about that. I would love to go up there to New Brunswick one day. For Prince Edward Island. Prince Edward Island is... Okay, again, you know what? No, for Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is very similar to Newfoundland, not quite as the beautiful cliffs of it, but it's truly great. Awesome. Number 3, Prince Edward Island. Beautiful little villages on this little island, and probably the best beaches in all of Canada. It's truly an amazing little province. Number 2, Alberta. Alberta, so many beautiful mountain views, great cities, just not a lot to complain about. Number 1 is Newfoundland and Labrador. I have a bias because this is the place I've been to the most, this is where my family's from, but there's literally nothing I can complain about this island. It's beautiful. It's got some of the best cliffs in the world. It's got some of the best beaches. When I was genuinely surprised when I went in the ocean there that it was warmer than the beaches in New Jersey. That's pretty freaking unbelievable considering it's far more north than New Jersey. So it's pretty surprising, but it is actually warmer. Not the climate, but the waters are. And this place just holds a special place in my heart. So that's an absolute S for me. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know down below what your ranking would be, and I don't know what tier list B is going to be, but it should be out pretty soon. And that's about it guys, Gaming2 here, and see you later, bye.